Hello, hello, and welcome to my webinar. So if you've joined me today, it's probably because you are one of a few kinds of people. So you are either you're traveling, you're already on the road, and you want to find a way that you can travel for longer, or you're stuck at home working the 9 to 5 and you're just totally not loving it, or perhaps you're a hobbyist photographer and you want to find a way that you can really turn your hobby into a career. So that's why I wanted to host this webinar today, because I've come up with a method to help all of you who are in positions very similar to what position I've been in, and I really want to help you get to the point where I am today. So before I get into anything, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Hayley. I am 27 years old and I'm from England, and I very first left the country to go travelling when I was 19 years old. And I left and I went to South Africa, and I went to go work with cheetahs in a rehabilitation centre just outside of Cape Town for about 6 months. After that, I then went and continued my travels. I went to Thailand, I went to Bali, went to Australia, and it's now been nearly a decade that I've been traveling. So I fell in love with traveling pretty much from the get-go, and I always knew I was never going to be ready to finish. I always knew there was going to be new places that I wanted to see and new people that I wanted to meet. So I recently went to Sri Lanka with my boyfriend, and it was really then when I had an epiphany. So we were volunteering in a hostel, and the reason why we were volunteering is just because we were on quite strict budgets and we really didn't want to spend too much money on accommodation while we were there. So we volunteered for a really cool place in a little town called Weligama. It was really cool. We were working relatively long days, I'd say about six-hour days, in return for a bed. So the problem we found when we were in Sri Lanka is that it was a new, exciting place for us. But as we were volunteering, because we wanted to save money, we were kind of stuck and we weren't able to move. So I sat on Booking.com one day and I was just kind of looking at all these amazing places, all over the country, and really getting myself excited about all the places we could go see. But at the same time, I didn't want to spend money on it, and I knew that my boyfriend didn't want to either. So I kind of got into this vicious circle of just sitting on Booking.com and booking websites and just imagining myself in all these places. You know what it's like. I'm sure you've been there when you go to a new country and you don't know where to begin. There's just so many cool things you've heard of. There's so many towns and cities you want to visit, so many tours or expeditions you want to go on. And we really felt like we couldn't because we were trying to save money. So one day I was on these websites and I was looking through pictures of all these hotels and getting a little bit depressed that I couldn't go there. And what I really noticed, what stuck out to me, was they would have crazy prices but really average pictures. I could see that the hotels were amazing. Of course they're going to be amazing when they're $800 a night, but the photos just looked really boring. There was nothing exciting about them, nothing really that stood them out from the rest. So I thought one day, why not email them and see whether they would like me to take any photos of the hotel in return for a free stay. And let me tell you, I was absolutely inundated with responses. So here's kind of a couple of the responses that I got. So I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that wanted to work with me, and it was an amazing feeling as a hobbyist photographer. I'm not sure if any of you have experienced this before, but the moment that a hobby can be something that you benefit from in this way, it was a huge deal for me, and I was grinning ear to ear for days. And when I contacted all these hotels, I never expected anything like this. So you can see all these kind of emails. Everyone was very positive. Everyone was very excited to work with me, and each hotel was offering me different things, whether it was 1, 2, or 3 nights, whether it was including meals or including drinks, all this kind of stuff. And it was a really amazing feeling, and it's kind of why I wanted to create this webinar, because I want you to have this feeling as well. So when I started getting all these responses, I kind of thought, okay, let me just think about this for a second. How much am I actually spending on accommodation? And this is when it got really sickening. So I wanted to look between two different types of traveling. So I wanted to look at 6 months backpacking around Europe, and also wanted to look at perhaps a 2-week holiday in Mexico. And basically what I would find is that accommodation is just crazy expensive, and it was taking up so much of my personal travel budget. So when I had a look at these, for example, 6 months backpacking in Europe, you're easily going to be spending between 2,000 and 3,000, or same whether it's a 2-week holiday in Mexico, it's easily going to be between, say, 2,000 and 4,000. So I thought, okay, well, I've been traveling for about 10 years now. Do I even want to work out how much I've spent on rent? And anyway, I worked it out, and I was absolutely disgusted at how much I've spent on rent over the past 10 years. So it's well over $100,000. And again, this is another reason why I really wanted to create this webinar, because I think that I can really help you learn a lot from this method. And I really want you to benefit from everything that I've learned as well. So let's get started. I want to show you how you can stay in 5-star luxury accommodation for free. So when I'm talking about luxury accommodation, these are some of the places that I stayed with my boyfriend whilst we were in Sri Lanka. So we stayed in, some of them were boutique hotels and some of them were slightly larger chains. And then of course, a lot of them had restaurants as well. So we were able to reap the benefits of a hotel with a restaurant. And you know, the places that we stayed were absolutely incredible, and it's given me some of the most amazing memories that I'm gonna, you know, take with me to the grave. And I really want you to experience some of these memories as well. And before we go any further, I really need to make a point here, is that anyone can do it. Now, I'm assuming a lot of you are sitting there listening to me thinking, okay, she's going to start telling me now I need to get a travel blog. And that's what I really need to make clear. That is not what you need to do. So before we go anywhere, you do not need to be a blogger, okay? I'm dead serious on this. You do not need to run to your laptops right now and try and hustle together 500,000 Instagram followers. That is not what this is about. When I very first started doing this, I think I had 400 followers or something on my Instagram, just to prove a point that, you know, it really has nothing to do with it. You do not need to be an influencer. You do not need to be a professional photographer. You do not need to have your own business. And you most certainly do not need to have expensive equipment. So when I was using my camera on all of these gigs, my whole setup was easily less than $200 or $300, and I'm not kidding. I had a stupidly entry-level DSLR camera. I was quite a novice when it came to knowing about lenses and all this kind of stuff, so I was no way near the level of a professional photographer. If you're listening and you're already a professional photographer, then awesome. You're gonna succeed crazy with this method. If you're like me and you're not a professional photographer, you're not one right now, then this is still definitely for you. So the method that I'm going to teach you, it actually helped me and my boyfriend save over $3,000 whilst we were in Sri Lanka. So we worked out the cost per night at all these resorts that we'd booked, and we realised if we'd paid to stay there, the whole trip was actually going to cost us over $3,000. And like I said in the beginning, we were on a very strict budget. You know, we had no way near the means to pay $3,000 for accommodation. And on top of that, not only did we save huge amounts of money, but we met some amazing hotel management. We met some amazing staff, and you know, people that we are still in contact with to this very day, and we would still work with even when they ever needed any photography work on their hotel. So without further ado, let's get started on step 1. So this is where we are going to look at scouting. So this is super exciting. This is where I'm going to show you how you go about finding your potential clients. So the way I did it was use booking websites. So you're probably very used to using these kind of websites as well. My go-to booking website is booking.com. but you can also use others such as Agoda, Kayak, Last Minute, and TripAdvisor. So the reason why I like Booking.com is because that's just the usual website I use for my holidays, and when I actually book stuff, that's my go-to website. I like the app, I like the user interface. So whether perhaps you prefer using, let's say, Agoda, then everything I'm about to teach you, you can apply to that particular website. I'm going to show you on Booking.com just because that's what I'm used to, but everything I teach you, that's what you can use, whichever website you want. So now I'm going to show you how we go about scouting and how we go about finding our potential clients. So what we're going to do is open Google, and we're going to go over to, of course, Netflix is the first thing that comes up. We're going to go to Booking.com. Okay, I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but I've got a really weird Booking.com at the moment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop in where we want to look for. So let's say, for example, so me and my boyfriend are looking at going to Bali soon. So usually I'll look for the country that I want to go to because, you know, of course you can search for any country you want to, but it just makes sense to me that if we're going to go to Bali, let's say early next year, then I would like to try and set up some photo shoots whilst we're in Bali. So let's click on Bali. And then when you pop in your date, you always want to make sure that you choose a date far enough in advance that there's going to be availability. Because obviously if you're looking for, if you're trying to look for email addresses here, so if you put in, let's say, next week, the chances are that hotel isn't going to appear because it's already booked up. So let's put the end of 2018. Let's just put one night, that's fine. And search. Okay, so I'm going to show you now a few things that we're looking for in particular when we're looking for hotels. So when I'm scrolling through here, the main thing I'm looking at is their image. So I want to see, is it attention grabbing? Does it look nice and vibrant? Does it look inviting? Would I want to stay there? Before you do that, I would recommend you switch to organizing this by star rating. Now, the reason why I do this is because I only want to stay in luxury resorts. I don't necessarily want to give up my time to stay in a 3-star resort that I could pay for myself. So I would like to only go for hotels which are kind of out of my budget and out of my reach. So that's why you want to organize this here by stars. And then have a look through and have a look at the picture, the stars, the cost per night, and the ratings. If you see one that's 5 stars and it's £400 a night, but it's got a terrible rating, then do you really want to stay there? Then probably not. So take all of these things into consideration. So we're just going to have a look. Okay, I'll use this one as an example here. Like it says here, it's a luxury high-end retreat, and it's got excellent reviews, 5-star, £111. Sorry, I'll pop this into US dollars. Okay, where was it? 149 US dollars. But to me, this picture does not make me want to go there. I'm not excited by this at all. Like, look at the other kind of pictures that it's competing against. You've got these amazing kind of places, and then they choose to showcase a bathroom, and I don't understand. So this is a good example of the kind of place you want to contact, because you can very easily tell them you are not in the same league as your competitors on Booking.com, because you have a picture of a bathroom and it doesn't look very good. And there's plenty of ones like that. There's plenty of hotels that when I look through them, I just really think, you could have done better you could have done better than that. This one, for example, was a gorgeous one. So it's an amazing picture, 5 stars, brilliant reviews, nice and expensive. When I say you wanna contact the ones that don't look so great, that doesn't mean you can't contact these, awesome looking ones as well. So yes, I would contact this one because I really think they could benefit from my services. But also, hotels are constantly needing new, exciting images. So even, these kind of ones, definitely, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be contacting them. This one, again, is lovely. Very nice. It's okay. Four Seasons, of course. Four Seasons looks lovely. Again, this is, for me, another bathroom picture. That doesn't look, I don't know. I wouldn't book here looking at that. And, to think that they try and charge $300, I don't know. I really think they could do with some help. So let's take this one as an example. So when you choose the hotel that you'd like to contact, what I do is pop in the name in a new tab. So the Oasis, was it Bali? Oasis Resort? Retreat, sorry. Oasis Retreat Seminyak. Okay, and you want to head straight onto their website. Okay, when you're on the website, all you want to do is look for an email address. So usually, if they're helpful, they would have like a contact us up here. Of course they don't. So we're going to have a look somewhere else. Perhaps book now or info. Let's try there. Let's see. Contact us. Okay. So I should make a point. When you kind of get these, when they don't have an option for an email and they just give you this kind of like pop-up, I, in all honesty, don't bother. I mean, you can. It's just my personal preference. I don't really like to contact people through these. And of course, this website doesn't have an email address. So I'm just going to show you another one, and I'm going to come back to the Oasis and show you a cool way how to get an email when you can't find one. So let's go to that bathroom hotel. Okay, Jungle Retreat Ubud. Jungle Retreat Ubud. Okay, and we want to head to their website. Okay, so we then head to contact. See, for me, this picture is so much nicer. I'm not sure why they don't use this kind of picture on their booking.com. Anyway, so click on contact. And we're looking for an email address. Here we go. Fabulous. Okay, so reservations at kupubarong.com. So what you want to do is you want to copy and paste that. Okay, and just pop it in there. Oh, no, let's open my emails. Don't want to do that. Okay, so once you've got it in your notes, you then just want to make a note of the name of the hotel. So Jungle Retreat Bali. Okay, so there you go. You've got a first email of someone that you want to contact. Now, I want to show you on the Oasis Retreat a little trick, a little tool that is so helpful, and it's this little guy up here. So this is a Google Chrome plugin, and it's called Hunter, and it's so helpful. And you can see here, it essentially just helps you find email addresses. So when you're stuck on a website and you can't find an email, you literally just click up here, and then it's going to scrape the website to try and find emails for you. So it's come up here. James Bishop is one email. Sam Hainsworth, and then you've got the info one. So you want to look for the green dots because this is their confidence score. So usually this is if that email has appeared on lots of different websites, then they're sure that that's a legit email. These ones, however, confidence score 14. So they're not really sure if that's an email that's still used, for example. So you can see here these three ones are going to be the good ones to go with. If you want to look a little bit more into the emails, you can click on here and see where else that email has appeared. So by looking at this, I would say this guy is probably the manager. And maybe Sam, let's see, properties. I mean, Sam could be the manager. She could be the restaurant manager. She could be anything, to be honest. So James, Sam, and info, these are the ones that we want. So you can, it's really up to you whether you want to go for the generic info or whether you want to target one of the name email addresses. So obviously, the problem with going for one of the name email addresses is you might be way off, and James might not be the manager at all. For all you know, he could be the janitor, he could be the head chef. You don't really know. So me personally, I go for the info email address. You can always do both. Obviously, if you do both, you are going to risk the fact that when they receive two of these emails, you're not going to look as unique, because it does look like, you know, you've just found these emails online and you're just contacting everyone that you can. So that's another email address you've got, and then you remember you just want to put in the name of the hotel. Okay, and you really just want to repeat this process until you have a nice bunch of email addresses that you can use to contact and try and strike up some work with them. So that's pretty much the whole process of finding your email addresses. So now let's head back to my other screen. Okay, so now I'm just going to tell you a few cool apps and tools that you can use to make this process a little bit faster. So obviously the first one is Hunter, and I really find it a great tool. It doesn't always work, so there are going to be some websites where it can't find any email addresses. In that kind of situation, you know, if you're spending more than 5-10 minutes on a website, looking for a contact address and you can't find anything on Google, just move on to the next one, because there's plenty of other hotels that you can be contacting. Another cool app you can use is called Wunderlist. That's pretty much just a different method of storing the email addresses. So instead of using your notes on a Mac, for example, you can download Wunderlist. Then you've also got Evernote. It's another cool way of jotting down all these email addresses. And then finally, Booking.com, but the app. Now, I find this really helpful because it means you don't have to switch between tabs looking for the hotel's contact details on your laptop. So you can just sit with your Booking.com app open next to you and finding the names on Booking.com of the hotels, and then on your laptop you go in and pop in the name into Google and go onto their website. So sometimes when you work all just on your laptop, all just on Google Chrome, for example, I can end up with hundreds of tabs and it gets very confusing and my laptop gets very slow. So you can, you know, utilize your phone and have that open, so you can kind of two birds with one stone. So now we've gone through that, we're going to look at pitching. So this is when we're going to use these email addresses that we found and we're going to start contacting them. So I want to give you my exact email template. So I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to talk you through exactly why I write what I write and why it's important. So first of all, we're going to look at the subject. I have split tested many different types of emails, and this email as a whole is what's been most successful for me. So I really recommend you kind of use this standard template to contact your hotels. So for the subject, I found two things. First of all, use the word free, because people like free. People like to see the word free. They want to know what you're offering. So use this word. The second thing to do is to ask a question. So by saying to them, need any free photography, you're ticking off free and you're also ticking off asking a question. I find that when you ask a question, out of politeness, people feel the need to respond. So, you know, you can reword this. You could, instead of saying need any free photography, you can put, do you want any free photography? Anything like this, but try and keep the word free and try and keep it as a question. And here, all your recipients, so all of the email addresses you've got, you want to BCC them. So you can see here, this is a mistake that I put them in CC. You don't want to do that. You want to put them in BCC. So that means that they're not going to see that you've emailed all of them there. It's going to look like it's just come to them. Okay, so you want to say hello, good afternoon, good morning, whatever. If you're contacting someone in a different country, it's sometimes cool to say in their local or in the native language. So say you're going to, let's say you're going to Spain next week. You could write to them, hola. That's kind of where my Spanish ends. ¿Qué tal? Or, all this kind of stuff. You can ask them how they are in their language so that it's just a nice icebreaker. It makes it look like you're taking the time to try and speak in their language, and I just find it friendly to do that. So in this particular email, I think I was contacting Sri Lanka. So my name is Hayley, and I'm currently traveling and working around Sri Lanka with my partner Thibaut until December. So this is, you just want to give a little introduction about what you're doing. I'm a venue and food photographer who travels around hotels and restaurants taking professional photos of guests, rooms, activities, menus, interiors and exteriors. The important part of this sentence is this end bit where you say guest rooms, activities, blah, blah, blah. The reason being because often if you just come at them and say, I'm a venue and food photographer, let's say, for example, this particular hotel doesn't have a restaurant in the hotel. So their immediate response is probably going to be like, oh, we don't have a restaurant, we don't need food pictures, for example. And same for, let's say, a hotel is having refurbishments done and all of their rooms, let's say, are being refurbished, so you can't access them. By putting this, it shows that you can do much more than just take photos of their hotel room. You can come in and take a photo of their menus, of guests, of, the receptionists, of the swimming pool, other interiors and exteriors. Just make them know that you're not a one-trick pony. You can do other things as a hotel or venue and food photographer. You can do more than what they think you can do. So then we go on to, if you're in need of a fresh new portfolio of photos ready for high season, or simply want to get your name out there more, we would love to work with you. A new portfolio works great for both your website, Facebook, Instagram, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and any other platforms you use to promote your hotel. So that's pretty straightforward. You want to let them know that new photos don't just have to be for a website. They can use these photos, with the rise of social media now. They've got all these cool photos which they can use on their Facebook, their Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Especially Booking.com. I suppose you can make a point. The reason why you've contacted them is because their picture on Booking.com was a bathroom and it looked terrible, and you think that you could take a nicer picture which they could use on Booking.com. I've attached a couple of photos as an example of my photography and the different styles that I can shoot for you. So you can see here I've attached them down there. All we ask for in return for our work is accommodation for the duration of the project, anything from 1 day to 1 week, depending on the scale of the project. So you want to let them know that you're flexible. So if they want a lot of photos done, that's fine by you, but you would need to ask for longer. If you're interested in working with us, fabulous. Let us know your earliest convenience, as we'll be booking multiple venues before our departure on December 6th. So it's important to kind of start ending the email on this, because it gives them a little nudge to hurry up, because you're telling them, listen, I'm going to be popular. This is going to be a popular deal. If you want to book us, do it now before we're fully booked. And then we look forward to hearing from you. Best, Hayley and Thibaut. So it's a pretty straightforward email. You've given them all the information that they're going to need to know. You've come across as friendly. You've come across as informative, and that you want to help. So another thing, when you send your emails, you can see here I sent this at 12:50. It's important to take note of the time that you're sending an email, because you don't want to send them an email on a Sunday afternoon, because the person who's in charge of this kind of thing, they're not going to be there. They're going to be with their family. They're going to be at home, whatever. You want to contact someone, let's say a Wednesday morning. They've got over the busy few days at the beginning of the week, and they've got time now to sit and read these kind of emails. You have to think, these kind of establishments probably receive hundreds of these kind of requests a week. So you need to time it well, and you need to stand out from the crowd. So once you've sent this email, you're going to get some real standard responses and questions. So I just wanted to go through the different responses that you're going to get. So you're going to get your definite no's, and that's okay. Like, it's expected. There's going to be people that don't want to work with you, and that's okay. Don't worry. The kind of responses they're going to say, oh, we don't need any right now. that's fine. We just had a shoot done recently, or just no thanks. And usually for these kind of responses where they seem completely uninterested, then I just would send a real quick email saying thanks for your time, wish you all the best. You don't need to spend any more time on these kind of clients. So next you've got the maybes. These are the people that you might be able to sway into working with you. So they'll typically say things like, we can't afford to give away rooms for free. Our rooms are full. We're having renovations done at the moment. So with all these kind of responses, you need to sit and think, okay, why can't they afford to give me any room for free? Why are their rooms full? Why are they having renovations done? And think of how you can come back to them with a solution. So, for example, if they can't afford to give you a room for free, why is that? Is that because you're going in high season and that room is too expensive? If that's the case, let them know that you're flexible on dates and that you can come in a couple of weeks' time when it's not as full. We're having renovations done at the moment. Okay, well, when are their renovations going to finish? Ask them that. Let them respond. If you have to put them on the spot, put them on the spot, because they might just be saying that to you because they don't really know what else to say. They're probably not the right person to give the go-ahead on booking in a room for a photographer. So for them, it's probably a lot easier just to say that than to have to go to their manager or to the owner and say, is it possible that we can work with a photographer? Whatever. So they might just be saying that to kind of, bat you away. So have some responses, start brainstorming some responses that you can say to these kind of people. But on the whole, maybe is a good. 9 times out of 10, I'm able to turn a maybe into a yes, because they often don't expect you. If they reply to you saying our rooms are full, they don't expect you to email them back saying to them, oh, when are they not full? They kind of expect you to move on to the next hotel. So don't do that. Don't be that person. Keep going, and I'm sure you'll be able to turn that maybe into a yes, or at least interested. So then we've got the interested people. These are great. These are people that are already hot leads. They already sound like they want to work with you. So they'll often say things like, sounds interesting. Could you send over some more of your work? What's your availability on whatever date? Can you also do video? And could we get X amount of photos? Now, these are really good responses. It's going to be pretty easy to seal the deal on these kind of ones because they're already interested and they already are showing interest that they want to work with you. And you have to bear in mind they've never met you before, so they don't know if you're a scam. They don't know if the images that you sent them in your email are even you. You don't know that. Well, they don't know that, sorry. So the fact that they're interested, that's a really good sign. So when they reply with these kind of things, when they ask, for example, could you send over some more of your work? 100%. So I would email them saying, hi, whoever, of course, I've attached some shots of a recent photo shoot I did, or perhaps here is the link to my whatever you have, whether you've got an Instagram or a website or something like that, and just so they can see that you are a real human and you've done other photo shoots. If they ask you your availability, if they ask a particular date, I would often say, not like, oh, lucky you that I'm available on that date, but I would kind of hint that date works, but other dates don't. You want to kind of give them that sense of you will book up very quick, so lucky for them that date works, let's book it. Can you also do video? It depends. Can you? Can you also do video? That's something that I get asked a lot. If they ask that, I would usually ask them what kind of video. And 9 times out of 10, the kind of video they want is super basic stuff that you can do on an entry-level DSLR anyway. So my kind of rule of thumb is say yes and learn how to do it in the meantime. And finally, could we get X amount of photos? So that's completely up to you. That's the amount of time you want to give for staying in this hotel. So say it's a 5-star amazing resort, you've wanted to stay in a place like this for years. If they ask you for more photos than what you'd usually want to do, they'll then do it. If they want, say, 100 photos for a 2-night stay, I would do that because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And to be honest, if you say no, someone else is going to say yes. So I would just say yes. if it's the kind of place that, you found it on booking.com, it looked all right, you kind of just want a quick holiday, you're not too fussed about the place, and if they want 200 pictures for one night stay, then no, let them find someone else, because if you're not going to be that excited about it, then it's not really worth your time. So now let's look onto negotiations and when you need to know when to say no. So some hotels are going to be much easier to work with than others. Take that from me. I have worked with some amazing hotels, and I've worked with some real bastards of hotel owners and managers that just they make you regret trying to work with them. So just always remember, there are going to be some which are going to be breezy. You're going to send them an email, have everything booked in an hour, and it's going to be a perfect experience. And there's going to be others which are not going to be fun to work with. And usually you'll get a sense of this. So usually once you start emailing, and if they kind of give you an impression or a bad impression, let's say, then that's fine. Just tell them sorry, you've booked up. You don't, use your gut feeling on this. So our standard was for 2 or 3 nights free accommodation. We would deliver between 50 and 80 images in 48 hours. And that all really depends, especially the turnaround time. So if you can't turn around 80 images in 48 hours, then don't offer it, because you can't go back on your word. If you're gonna tell them you can do this in this amount of time, then you need to be able to stand by that. So if you're new in photography, if you're new into working with clients and deadlines and this kind of thing, give yourself longer, because to be honest, I don't really think for your client, there's not going to be a huge difference between telling them they can have images in 24 hours between telling them they can have them in 72. For them, if they get them within a week, that's awesome. So see, you have to really look at yourself and see how quickly you can do it without ruining your holiday, because you're going to be there. If you're only there for 1 or 2 nights and it's going to take you 2 days to edit, then think about that. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself that you don't enjoy the opportunity that you've had. This one's really important. You need to know your worth, because there's going to be some arseholes out there that really try and squeeze every little image out of you. They're going to ask for so much more than what you originally agreed. They're going to change the terms and conditions. They're going to try and get as much out of you as you can, but know your worth. So if you do get stuck with this kind of hotel owner or manager, then just stand true to yourself. If you don't feel comfortable delivering on what they're asking, then you don't have to. You've worked hard to strike up this deal, and if they start trying to take advantage, then it's no hassle to just walk away. Always clarify what's included and what's not. This really applies to food and beverage. So I've done plenty of hotels where they've included lunch, dinner, breakfast, drinks, and all this kind of stuff. And then I've done some other stingier restaurants and hotels where they just give you the room and they won't give you anything else. So always clarify what's included before you start the contract or the deal, whatever, with them. Be transparent. As I said, your turnaround time for your photos, what you expect from them. The more transparent you are, the less chance of there's going to be any problems along the way, because you're both clear with each other on all the terms and conditions. If you get a bad feeling, don't waste your valuable time. So I've had plenty. One in particular where I would offer, let's say, 30 images for one night stay, and they would keep pushing. And at the end of the day, I kept agreeing and I kept saying, okay, sure, I can do this. And at the end of the day, this particular gentleman wanted something in the region of 150 images for a one night stay, no food and beverage included. And I didn't get a good feeling from him. I didn't get a good impression that he was going to look after me and Thibaut when we were there. He didn't feel like someone that I wanted to work with. So in the end, I replied just saying, I'm really sorry, but that's my limit. I can't do it for more than this. I wish you all the best. And we left it as that, and we didn't work with this guy. And I'm really happy that I didn't, because we actually ended up booking a really nice place instead. And we got on so well with the manager and everything was perfect. So If you get a bad feeling, don't worry, just move on. There's going to be plenty more. So once you've got this far and you've started negotiating and you've started coming up with a deal with your potential client, it's time to book them. So step 3, booking. What happens once you've confirmed? So once they have come back to you and they've said they want to work with you, send them an email 2 or 3 days prior to this day to make sure they remember you, because that may sound silly, but they probably will forget you, and they do this. They've got a million other guests coming. They're not going to remember someone who's coming for a free stay in their hotel. So just send them a little reminder email. Hello, just making sure you remember I'm coming, blah, blah, blah. Prepare everything. Multiple memory cards, lenses, how you're going to get to the hotel, batteries, have everything charged, have everything ready to go. Remember, although you're still getting this for free, you want to look professional. So you don't want to turn up and not have the right equipment, and then it's that awkward moment where the hotel owner is like, oh my God, what have I done? And you're like, oh no. So have everything ready to go. You're going to look much more professional, turning up with everything ready. Checking in, make sure you know your point of contact and the terms that you agreed. So sometimes the person that you've been dealing with via email won't be there when you arrive. So make sure you know what you've agreed with this person so that you can relay that to the person that is checking you in or the person that is then dealing with you. And be prepared for last minute changes and be flexible as you can. So we've had some where we've literally turned up at the hotel and they've completely forgot that we were coming, regardless of our reminder email, and they've been totally hospitable towards us, and they've let us stay, and they've kind of just said to us, actually, we're really sorry we forgot you're coming, so don't worry about a photo shoot because we haven't prepared anything, so just enjoy the hotel. So be flexible and be prepared for these kind of things because they will happen, and you kind of just have to laugh it off when it does happen. And it's all part of the experience. It's all part of the journey. You're going to have some really funny memories from doing this process and meeting these kind of people and being put on the spot and having to do something that you didn't expect and shooting something and, you know, whatever. Just be prepared, be as flexible, and then when the worst does happen, it's not going to feel like the end of the day. When we turned up and he told us that he completely forgot we were coming, obviously we were like, crap, we've just spent however much money coming here. So when he, turned around and said to us, oh, don't worry though, just enjoy the pool, enjoy your stay. And he ended up giving us food and beverage for free, the room for free, and we didn't even shoot the hotel. He just felt bad for forgetting about us. So that one actually worked out great. And finally, make sure you take this all in and enjoy it, because it's going to be an experience that you never ever forget. Enjoy staying in these amazing hotels. Enjoy meeting the kind of people that you're going to meet, and make the most out of it. Remember to take photos for you as well, so you can share with your friends and family, so you can make everyone jealous that you're sitting by the pool drinking a beer. There's no shame in trying to make people jealous back at home. That's fine. You worked hard for this. Just enjoy it. If you get a hotel that you don't enjoy, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to have another hotel in a few days or in a few weeks, whatever. Just enjoy it. Try and create a rapport with the staff and the receptionist, the hotel owner, the manager, whatever. Try and create a rapport with them so that you can hopefully develop a long-lasting relationship, and you can work on other collaborations together. So that's really important to, once you've finished your shoot, don't just assume that that's that. Once you've finished your photo shoot, let's get their business card, sit down with them and have a drink to say thanks for everything, talk to them about your travels, talk to them about you, find out about them, and for sure they're going to remember you, for sure. So do everything you can to enjoy your trip and to make as many memories and make as many friends during your trip that you can. And I guarantee you, it is going to be the most amazing experience to turn a hobby, to turn something like, a passion for photography into something like this. I never, ever, ever dreamt that me and my little crappy, really crappy DSLR could be traveling all the way all around the world and meeting amazing people and benefiting it from it the way that I am. I've made some really long-lasting connections with hotel owners and stuff that I still talk to this day, and I would still work with them on future collaborations and stuff. And when that happens, you'll see that you get to a point where when the relationship develops to that point, you start feeling much more confident in yourself. You start feeling much more professional. You start having, business contacts and this kind of thing. And then it kind of turns into something else. So I want to ask you something. Everything that I've talked about today, everything that I've kind of gone through, I'm sure you're sitting there and you're sitting there with a notepad and a pen, and you're like, oh my God, this is so exciting. There's so many people I need to contact like right now. It's been an amazing experience, but for me, I wanted to scale this. So I've had the most amazing time doing this, and I thought it was time to scale it to the point where I was making good money from it. And that's the stage that I'm at now. I've turned this into a full-time career, and in the space of 1 year, I've gone from just your average kind of C-grade student, like a backpacker who didn't really know where she was going in life, to a fully fledged hotel dining photographer and social media manager who travels the world doing this, getting paid very good money, and having some amazing relationships and collaborations with some larger hotels now and some really well-known brands. So imagine if you could turn your passion into a lucrative career. So imagine you could do what I'm telling you right now, what I've been able to do. I've turned my passion for photography into a lucrative career that I'm earning some really good money doing this, and literally still having the time of my life. Be your own boss. This one's really important for me because I've always known that I didn't want to work for someone, and I love being able to choose who I work with. I love being able to get up when I want to get out of bed. I love to be able to go to bed without worrying about it being a Monday morning. Like, I can put my hand on my heart right now and tell you I fucking love Mondays because I can do whatever I want. And that's the kind of situation, the position that I want to help you get into as well. Imagine landing in a country and already having clients. So just before I jumped on this webinar, I actually booked a client for about a month's time, and I'm bringing a friend with me. So my friend is on cloud 9 right now because she's just been invited to stay in a luxury 5-star resort with me in Malta. Lucky girl. So imagine literally being able to turn up in a country and you've already got someone waiting to work with you. Find clients fast and quick. So the way that I've just shown you in this method to find your clients, the problem I found was that I couldn't scale it. I saw there was potential and I just couldn't scale it because I was spending too much time sitting in front of Booking.com, and I was spending too much time looking for email addresses. Imagine if you could travel without not only not paying for accommodation, but also getting paid to be there. And imagine creating relationships with new people, which could lead to possible future collaboration. So I don't know if this is something that you have ever thought you could do. I don't know whether you ever thought you'd be in a position to earn money from staying in resorts and earn money. Like, it sounded like a dream to me, and I'm sure you're sitting there right now thinking like, this girl's crazy, what is she talking about? How can I possibly stay in a 5-star resort and get paid for it? But the truth is you can, because it's exactly what I've done, and it's what I want to show you how you can do too. So what I did was I created a course. So it's called the Maverick Master Blueprint, and it also comes with some cool add-ons where I'm going to help you become the professional photographer that you can be. So things such as Lightroom tutorials, where I'm going to show you how to edit your images, whether it's a dish or whether it's a room or whether it's a external shot, all these different kind of things. I'm going to show you how to edit them before you send them to your client, you're going to see my Maverick shooting method. So that's my exact method from the moment I walk into a hotel room, how I shoot it. So the angles I shoot from, little tips and tricks, how to make things look nicer. You're also going to get my ultimate branding checklist. So this is where I show you how to brand yourself, how to have a personal brand, how you can look professional on every platform available. And finally, you get my exclusive Lightroom presets. So these are my personal presets, which I've made myself, which you can use in Lightroom. And if you're not too clear on what a preset is, it's pretty much a set of pre-built filters. So you can literally get your image, whack one of my presets on, and you're ready to send to your client. So with my course, you receive the Maverick Master Blueprint, which has seven modules. Sorry. So the first is creating your brand, where I explain and I teach you how you can have your own personal, professional brand. Module 2 is finding thousands of hot leads fast. This is a really exciting one. I'm not going to give away too much right now. Number 3 is Prospecting 2.0. So this is where I'm going to show you a really cool tool that's going to take you really to the next level. Module 4 is where I'm going to show you how to turn hot leads into real clients. Number 5, this is where we talk through the photo shoot and the editing. So I will show you exactly how I shoot a hotel, how I edit, the equipment I use, how I use it, how you can get it as well. After that, we're going to move on to delivering the images to your clients. And finally, the icing on top of the cake, the magic upsell. This is probably my most favorite part of the course. So yeah, it's a 7-module course, creating your brand, finding thousands of hot leads fast, prospecting 2.0, turning hot leads into real clients, the photo shoot and editing, delivering to your clients, and the magic upsell. So as I explained earlier, I'm also going to give away 2 Lightroom tutorials, my exclusive pack of presets, my Maverick shooting method, and my ultimate brand checklist. So I'm not selling these separately. These are only available as bonuses with the Maverick Master Blueprint. So I would like to sweeten the deal that little bit more. So for everyone that's taken the time, the good part of an hour to listen to me today. So my Maverick Master Blueprint is priced at $699. And as I said, I'm including some really cool bonuses for you guys as well. Just to say thanks for taking the time to listen to me and to join me on this webinar. So my 2 Lightroom tutorials, which are priced at $169. My exclusive pack of presets, valued at $50. My Maverick shooting method, valued at $79. And my ultimate branding checklist, which is worth $99. So all of this combined, so all of these bonuses, as well as the Maverick Master Blueprint course, has a total value of over $1,000, so $1,096. So that's for the Maverick Master Blueprint, 2 Lightroom tutorials, where I'm going to show you how you use Lightroom and how you edit the pictures in Lightroom, exactly how I do it. The exclusive pack of presets, where you can literally download my presets and use them as filters on your images. My Maverick shooting method, where you'll see exactly how I go about shooting a hotel room. So it will help you, if you've never shot a hotel room before, it's really going to give you the confidence to know how to do it. And finally, my ultimate branding checklist, where I'm going to show you how you can develop your personal brand and look professional and get more clients from the get-go. So the total value of this is $1,096. I really want to give a special offer today because I really appreciate the support from all of you, the continued support and you sticking around for this whole hour listening to me. I know that webinars can get boring, they can get tedious, and it means a lot to me that you've stuck around to this point. So I want to give you a special offer. So For today, I'm able to sell my course just to you guys for $349. So that includes all of my bonuses. So for $349, you get the Maverick Master Blueprint, you get 2 Lightroom tutorials from me, 1 tutorial for a dish and 1 tutorial for a hotel room. You get my exclusive pack of presets, which are not sold anywhere else. You get my Maverick shooting method, where you see exactly how I go about shooting a hotel room. And you also get my Ultimate Brand Checklist, which you can download and you can use to help you develop your own really killer online presence and personal brand. So you get all of that just for you guys. The price today is $349. I want to just finish off by thanking everyone for taking the time to join me on this webinar. I really hope that I've explained everything clearly to you and that I haven't rushed through anything. I know I talk really, really fast, especially when I'm excited. So I hope everything makes sense. Please remember, the reason why I wanted to do this webinar and the reason why I've also created my course is because I've been in a position like you. So I've been a traveler who wants to travel for longer and doesn't know how. I've been in a 9-to-5 wanting to get out of the rat race and travel and do something with my hobby. And it's a real pleasure for me now to be in a position to be able to teach that to you. So I really, really, really hope you've enjoyed this webinar. I hope you've taken a lot of valuable information from it. I hope you've had your pen and your notepad, and I hope you've got some exciting stuff that you can be working on for now. And I really want to take you to the next step. I really want to show you how you can be making money in the way that I am, by traveling all over the world, staying in these kind of places, but also having an amazing salary at the same time. I'm no longer forfeiting my kind of professional career. I'm not now just traveling and staying in these places for the sake of enjoying them. I'm now staying in these places because that's what I can do to get paid for it. So now that's my reality has kind of turned into this dream reality that I never thought I was capable of. And it all started with me and my crappy little DSLR. So remember, you don't need to be a blogger, you don't need to be an influencer, you don't need to be someone on social media, you don't need to be a professional photographer, you don't need to be any of these things. You really just need to have a passion for photography, and that's all. And hopefully everything I've talked through you today makes sense, and hopefully you're super excited to get started. The course is it's one of the best experiences I've ever had, is to create this course, to be able to put all of my knowledge into one kind of easily digestible course. And I'm super proud to do it. I'm super proud to be able to offer it to you. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today. And I really can't wait to see where the future takes you.